In this video, the fourth and final part of our series, we are going to be examining the general purpose behind the Battlemechs ranging from 80 to 100 tons during the Succession War era. This will be a brief overview of the purpose of these machines on the battlefield and why they are important in specific formations. And in this case, are the ultimate level of on-field firepower brought to bear by any organization. There are no machines more feared as a whole than these. And though there is the opportunity to outmaneuver them, or to lure them into conditions which may not be ideal for them, no machines outside of this weight class can truly stand toe-to-toe with them. The Assault Mech class are often rightly viewed as Grim Reapers or lumbering lords of war. Extraordinarily rare and extremely expensive to maintain and repair, the Assault Mech is the rarest sight on the battlefield. In some instances, smaller military campaigns will be enacted without their participation in the slightest, on both the attacker and defender's parts. These vehicles are not trivial machines to see on the battlefield, and play their role in the military in very specific ways during the Succession Wars. Their weight prohibits even the most powerful engines from offering them significant speed boosts, meaning their tactical mobility is extremely limited, and in protracted campaigns with poor logistics, their strategic mobility is abysmal. The ability to produce assault mechs is, to say the least, very sparse, with few new units ever leaving the production lines across the inner sphere, and the number of roles they can fulfill on the battlefield is frankly limited. With all these limitations in mind, one may think these rare behemoths may not be desirable to deploy, even when available. But what they can do, when supported, they can do exceptionally well. Assault battlemechs are principally used for what their class's name means. They are used for direct assault, and for making up the point of the spear in a major breakthrough operation against entrenched opponents or against heavy and assaults managing a defense. They can fulfill roles like long-range fire support and indirect fire support as well, but even in these instances their slow movement makes those roles difficult at times due to certain circumstances. To the point, however, this is neither here nor there. Almost every single assault mech is carrying enough firepower to level a city block, and to decimate anything foolish enough that gets in its way. And this alone gives them an incredible capacity on the battlefield. Slow, heavily armored, and extremely heavily armed, these machines often have a mythology about them even, such as the Highlander burial, or the Atlas throwing a medium mech with its arm in urban legends. There is very little versatility in the weight range as a result of all this, and any attempt to deviate from this during the Succession Wars often led to disappointing mechs such as the Charger or most variants of the Banshee. Probably the most famous assault battle mech in Battletech during this era is rightly the Atlas. Weighing in at 100 tons and having 19 tons of armor, the most in the standard game, as well as having an overwhelming roster of weaponry and heat dispersion capabilities for its technology, this monster among machines lumbers onto the battlefield with supreme lordship over anything insane enough to think it can take it on. Nearly impervious to fire, seemingly, its autocannon and missile packages will often leave opponents as little more than irradiated flaming wreckage to be salvaged after the battle. In close is its ideal range, with its heavy autocannon, medium lasers, and missiles shredding anything that comes into its sights. Slow at moving only 54 kilometers per hour, the best defense most mechs have to this Goliath is to simply avoid it altogether, lest they be its next victim. There are mechs which, of course, don't represent this extreme. For example, there is the Victor. It moves the standard 64 kilometers per hour and weighs in at 80 tons. It carries a massive heavy autocannon, lasers, and short-range missiles, as well as reduced armor at only 12.5 tons as compared to most of its stablemates. Where it makes up for this is in its massive jump jets, allowing it to propel through the air to new positions. Moderate speed, hard, close-in punching power, and reasonable maneuverability makes this mech one of the standouts that can break the mold in regards to the set purpose of assault mechs. For long-range support, there are a multitude of mechs. The Venerable Awesome comes to mind when thinking of direct fire support, with its 3 particle projectile cannons and enough heat-sinking capabilities to fire these shots frequently, as well as enough armor to rival almost any machine. Then there's the Battlemaster, a favorite amongst commanders who have had the opportunity to acquire one. Moderate speed at 64 kilometers per hour, great weapon options with medium lasers, short-range missiles, and a PPC in the right arm to boot, as well as reasonable armor values for an 85-ton assault mech. And this machine also has the benefit of an advanced electronics package in the cockpit of the mech, allowing it to act as a commander more effectively. This battle mech can punch through enemy formations or act as a battlefield command mech, and is one of the best at either of those roles. This is without mentioning, of course, other machines in the range. The terrifying longbow with its immense missile package, the Zeus with its balanced weapon set and moderate speed, the Stalker with its mixed weapons package and extreme volume of firepower overall, or the updated Steiner variant of the Banshee, which is arguably one of the most dangerous mechs of this era, even if it only appears later on in the Succession Wars. There are other assaults which we've not touched on, but all of them have their role in the class. The term Lords of the Battlefield is often given to these machines, or Kings of the Battlefield, but I personally don't see them that way. Their roles, though impressive and powerful, are too limited for that to be true. Instead, I view assault mechs of the Succession War era as beasts, emerging from their lairs to strike down the lords and ladies of the Succession Wars, before slinking back into their dens to rest until they are needed once again. They are the monsters of the battlefield. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. With that, I'll catch you all in the comments section below.